welcome to episode 74 of Retrotopia, where we're talking Yoshi's story, and this week I am being joined by Sam as we go back to the N64 and we take Yoshi out to go eat all his fruit, because that's what makes him and his ilk happy. But before that, if you're just here for the game chat, head on down the road 20 minutes and you should find it, but we hope you stay because we like to have a little bit of fun in these intros. And of course, we always have to get the socials out of the way first, so if you'd like to join us on Discord, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff, you can find all our links at linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. If you want to comment on the shows or get a little bit extra, you can over at patreon.com/Retrotopia, and you can join for free, where you get 2 more shows. Quick Play, a bi-weekly show that one of us takes a small game and reviews, and Retro Bites, where you get it 15 days early, and we have a Patreon exclusive topic as we just discuss about games and life. You can also suggest topics for poll, which we run approximately every quarter, vote on said polls, and you can comment on the games we talk about, like today's game, or you can send a question or comment to the episode's host. We call that the 9-bit banter box because it's culturally elegant. Our first comment this week comes from Wildcard, aka Joe Fettuccini. He says, "So Brian, you just picked up Sam and Alan from band camp, where Sam has done questionable things to a saxophone, but that doesn't matter. You strapped them into their booster seats like big boys, tossed in a Game Boy, duct taped to a VHS copy of A New Hope, that would be that Star Wars things that a few people have talked about, and let them fight like feral cats in the backseat while you drive on over to Joe Fettuccini's fabulous pizzeria. What is your order for you and the boys at Joe Fettuccini's fabulous pizzeria?" Well, first off, it'd be a cold day in hell before I went to Joe Fettuccini's. I'd rather eat Pizza Hut. I hate Pizza Hut. Let's just put it that way, Mr. Fettuccini, my rival. But we'll go on the topic of pizza for this one. All right, first off, let's get this out of the way. Sam needs to stop fucking my saxophone. That's said and done. Secondly, if I was forced to eat at your garbage pizzeria, I would go with the classic, what we call it the Canadian, unless you're in Quebec, of course, and then it is the Quebecois. It is a great pizza that is very simplistic. It is pepperoni, mushrooms, and bacon. You probably have the same thing down in the United States, I'm sure. It's not a fancy pizza. We just call it Canadian. Other than that, you can either take that or you just fuck the pizza up with all the meat you have. Like, get a Meat Lovers, a Meat Tornado, a Meat Mountain of pizza, one where you pick up the slice and the meat just kind of rolls off because there's just not enough cheese to hold it all together. Oh, God. Yeah, it's because this is pizza and you don't need vegetables on pizza. But I did say I would have mushrooms on pizza, so yes, I do like vegetables. My wife always makes me get something green on a pizza, so I always get green olives. Take that. All right, that's it. That's what I would get there, buddy. So hopefully your pizzeria fails and you are penniless in the gutter somewhere right now. Love you. All right, next question comes from Mr. Hooley. He says, "Brian, when the hell are we going to get another beer? Next time I'll try to stay on planet Earth. P.S. Mail me some of that delicious poutine, please." First off, poutine is probably the best thing you can get out of Canada. The closer you get to Quebec, the better poutine gets. There's actually like a radius. If you hit outside that radius too far from Quebec, the poutine is just, it's not as good. It's getting better, but still not as good. Let's go back. I met Hooley in Toronto, Canada last year during the summer, and a bunch of us got together, and Hooley tried some of that Canadian Bud, and I never thought him to be a lightweight, but it fucked him up. It was funny, but he is such a good guy. It was a great time. He didn't make an ass of himself or anything. He was just kind of blinking a few times before answering questions just to get that brain processing. It was a good time. But yeah, next time we have an opportunity, yeah, we're gonna have a beer. You're not that far away, so I can see it happening sooner rather than later. All right, thanks, Hooley. Next question comes from one of our newer members, The Big Deal, and he is a big deal. He says, I'm making my way through the backlog and wanted to comment on the Shining Force episode. This game holds a special place in my heart as the first RPG I ever played thanks to the Sega Channel and their grouping of games in The Dungeon. While I still find JRPGs intimidating to this day, this was a great introduction to the genre for a first-time player and helped me discover some of my favorite games of all time as a result. As for other games in the series, apologies if you've heard any of this since, don't worry about that. The 3 Game Gear games are a direct continuation of this story and characters to an extent, while Shining Force 2 has its own separate lore. Shining Force CD is a remake of the first 2 Game Gear games and worth playing, but removes the town exploration as those games originally couldn't support it. Finally, the original Shining Force that you played as a has a GBA remake called Resurrection of the Dark Dragon. I would recommend giving that a shot next time you feel like replaying this game, as they add some quality of life improvements like shared inventory box as well as new characters, battles, and story elements. Yes, that is in our backlog of episodes. Sam played the game more than I did. I got frustrated with the length of every attack or defense sequence because they had their own animation and each one took about probably 45 seconds to a minute. Overall, I wasn't hating the game. It was just a slog to actually play. I am definitely interested in more Shining Force. Like, nothing about that game kind of turned me off about the series. When I have more time to sit down, I might Shining Force 2, play Shining Force 2, just because, I am curious. I am Shining Force curious. Just like Phantasy Star, I went into that kind of, how am I going to like this, early 80s or late 80s RPG, and I actually ended up liking it a lot. Yeah, it has some problems. It's a little bit rough, but it did not turn me away from the series, which is what a good game does. So there is definitely some future episodes coming of those games for sure. But I will look into what you suggested. Thanks for the suggestions. I always love looking for RPGs. Big fan, especially now that I'm playing more Sega games. I'm kind of seeing some of these classics for the first time, and good and bad. I won't just blanket review them right now. All right, thanks for your question. We're going to move on to Blaine the Hoagieman, and he asks, what's an underrated Ninja Turtles villain you think should get used more often? All right, I made a list. I actually had to prepare for this one because my brain was pretty much blank for a bit because I couldn't remember everybody. But IDW has a comic run, and I think I'm 9 books into it right now. And it's really, really, really good. If you like Ninja Turtles, pick up the IDW comic book run. It's just fantastic. They're the same people who did The Last Ronin. So first off, I got 4 here. Let's count them down 4-1. I got John Bishop from the IDW comics, that version. He's head of the Earth Protection Force. He's just a dick. He's just like, his entire reason is to kill mutants or aliens because he thinks they're a threat to Earth, and he just, does whatever the hell he wants. He's just that classic, you instantly hate him type character. Second one is One-Eyed Hobbs. He comes in early into the comic series in the IDW. He is the enemy of the Turtles. He eventually starts his own gang, and that actually includes Slash, who is fairly intelligent in the run, up until a point. Then we have the IDW version of Rat King, who is more of a god than a man who just sits in the sewer and likes rats and for some reason has the budget for a floating sewer attack machine. His stories are really interesting inside of IDW, and there's a whole family that, is with him, and they're all these, I don't know how to describe it, like, God is probably the best way, but, they are the ones who screw around with people on Earth. But I'm going to go with, as the most underrated Ninja Turtles villain who should get used more often, it's Danny Pennington. And if you don't know who that is, you need to go back to the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. That is the kid that outed April O'Neil and the Turtles, got Splinter captured, and got the Turtles put the Turtles on the run after Raph was knocked the fuck out, and burnt down April O'Neil's house. It's all because of Danny Pennington. Yeah, he did the right thing in the end of the movie, but let's turn him into a major villain. That's honestly what I think should happen. But yeah, that's my answer, Blaine. Thank you very much for the question. We got two more. First with Old Man Gamer, also a newer Patreon. He asks, he comments, so Brian, something I was thinking about, do you think in about 30 to 40 years, couch co-op will make a big return when all of us gamers are stuck in nursing homes? No, and let me explain why. I really do wish, like, we'd have old people sleepovers and stuff like that, where, you know, you go in, you have some sody pops and some chips and pizza, and, you know, you spend a few minutes changing your diapers as you switch cartridges in your Nintendos. But sadly, I think we're in the path to a console-free future where you get a chip installed in your brain, and when you die, you get turned into Soylent Green, as is tradition. We're going to be sitting in some plastic chairs hooked up to the Omni-Fi, which will be the replacement for Wi-Fi, and there'll be video games in a virtual world which will seem real to us. And we're just going to be like sitting there like the Matrix, and our bodies are going to be used for nourishments for our overlords, who will be just the Google, you know, complex, which has become self-aware. So as much as I'd like to say yes, no, but in a serious answer, I think with handheld gaming, I think we'll be sitting there in the common room of our nursing homes, playing games together, whether it's multiplayer or just being together. Yeah, I think gaming will be a big part of the old people life, because, you know, we brought it into the world, we can take it out. Thanks for the question, Old Man Gamer. And finally, we have Dave McGinnis, who joined a Patreon recently. He says, long-time listener, first-time caller, I just wanted to say you guys are kicking ass. Cheers. Thanks, Dave, and thanks to everybody for writing into the 9-Bit Banter Box. So now we're going to move forward. We're going to move forward to what have I been playing? And released in 2018, where I bought day one because I loved its, its sequel or a prequel. It is Red Dead Redemption 2. I have started playing that finally. I got past the mountain many times, like at least 3 or 4 times. But as soon as I get to the Horseshoe Valley, and if you know the game, you know the game. As soon as I get to Horseshoe Valley, for some reason, I'd always peter out on the game. I finally pushed through. Last time I played it, I just got on a horse and started riding, and I ended up God knows where in the middle of the map, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't do any missions or anything. I had like a bounty of $100, so I just like, fuck it, let's restart the game. Having a lot of fun with it right now. It's a very good go-to game. It's a pick up and put down. The missions are about, I don't know, an hour long each, depending on the mission. So it's a good time. I've also started, I popped into my 3DS, Xenoblade Chronicles, and that was recommended by one of my closer friends, and we'll see how it goes. So far, I'm not hating it. First time I played it, I didn't get into it, but this time I'm giving it the old sailor's try, and I'm having a good time. And finally started Final Fantasy IV for a future episode, because Sam wants to play Final Fantasy IV, and Final Fantasy IV is near and dear to my heart. So I'm doing a refresh playthrough, so I'm kind of cheesing the game a little bit because I can't do 2 RPGs at the same time. So I put on the boost on the Pixel Remaster just to get my level up a little bit, to let me clear the game just a bit quicker, just to get the story back in my mind. One of my favorite games, so it's not going to get a bad review from me anyways. Alright, that's everything I've been up to, but before we go any further, we always like to give Alan the floor, so we can enjoy that sweet British voice on what we call the Gentleman's Interlude.
Thank you for joining us, Yoshi. We're excited to talk about Yoshi's Story for the Nintendo 64. Can you tell us a bit about the game?
Yoshi!
That's right. Yoshi's Story was released in 1997 in Japan and 1998 in the United States. It's a unique game where players guide Yoshi through different stages. Can you tell us more about the development of the game?
Yoshi!
Oh, I see! Yoshi's Story was developed by Nintendo EAD, the same team behind many other iconic Nintendo titles. It followed Yoshi's Island, which was beloved by many. What makes Yoshi's Story different?
Yoshi!
Right, the art style. The game is known for its bright, colourful visuals that give it a storybook-like feel. It was one of the first games to really take advantage of the N64's graphical capabilities. And let's not forget the gameplay. You navigate Yoshi, eating fruits and battling enemies to advance through each level.
Yoshi, 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 Yoshi.
Yes, that's one of the key mechanics. You can choose from multiple Yoshis, each with a different color and abilities. You're also collecting fruit to keep your health up. The health system in the game is unique because if you run out of fruit, the game is over. A bit more pressure compared to other platformers.
Yoshi, 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 Yoshi.
Exactly. There's a lot of strategy involved with the fruit collecting. Now, in terms of the development process, I understand that Yoshi's Story was created under the direction of Hideki Kono, who also worked on Super Mario Kart. What was the design philosophy for this game?
Yoshi, Yoshi, Yoshi.
That's right, they wanted to keep it simple and fun. Yoshi's Story is a much lighter and more accessible game compared to some other platformers at the time, with its focus on exploration and discovering secrets rather than complex combat.
Yoshi.
Exactly, Yoshi. The game also features a charming soundtrack composed by Kazumi Tataka, known for his work on many other Nintendo games. Did you have a favorite tune from the game?
Yoshi, Yoshi, Yoshi.
That's okay, no need to choose. Now, Yoshi's Story wasn't as commercially successful as some other N64 titles, but it has a loyal fan base today. Looking back, how do you feel about the legacy of the game?
Yoshi, Yoshi.
Well said, Yoshi. Thanks for joining us to share your thoughts on Yoshi's Story.
Yoshi.
Oh, well, there we are. That's that out of the way. Thanks for doing this, Yoshi. Appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. Listen, while I've got you here, I have to ask, what's the deal with, you and Mario? After that whole him dropping you into an endless pit thing, I mean...
Yoshi, 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 Yoshi.
Oh, Jesus, sorry I asked. Back to you guys.
All right, as always, thank you, Alan, and thank you, Yoshi, for your guest appearance. You know who you are. I'm not going to out your name because I don't really know if you want me to, so I'm just going to say thank you very much for joining us, and I hope everybody enjoyed that because I sure as hell did. Now, before we get into the game talk, we do have some comments, starting with Dave McGinnis, who says, I've never played this game. Go tacos and beer. Once again, Dave, you knocked it out of the park. Keep up your comments. They are just 100% right all the time. Alternatively, no more beer and tacos for a while. That was a great day. Blaine the Hoagie Man says this one is one of those games that in order to fully 100%, you have to play through it multiple times. It's not too hard since it's a short and easy game with an easy premise of just eat a lot of fruit. It's cool. You can get a white and black Yoshi as unlockables. Unbuckle Cape from Unbuckle Comics, which is sadly leaving us soon. We're sorry to see you go. He says, Kirby 64 and Yoshi's Story. It's like you guys are peering right into my childhood. I remember renting this game a lot, but that's all I remember. I do have a cartridge that I grabbed at a convention, so I'll eventually replay it, but until I do, I'll take your review as the gospel truth, excuse me. Then finally we have Mr. Hooley, who says, easy but very important question. What is your favorite colored Yoshi? He says, mine is teal or black. I don't have a favorite colored Yoshi. I just made it through the game. Quite honestly, I don't know. I'll get into it in the actual game chat here, but I kind of wish the Yoshis had a little bit of differences between them, aside from the color and the favorite fruit. But with that, we are going to start a little bit of music right here, and I want to thank everyone who wrote in. It's always great to hear your thoughts, so let's get into it. We're talking Yoshi's Story, developed by Nintendo EAD, published by Nintendo themselves, released in North America on March 10th and the EU on May 10th of the Lord's Year of 1998 on the Nintendo 64. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show. welcome to another episode of Retrotopia. Obviously, you've already heard the introduction. I am Brian, your host with the most absences lately, and with me is Sam, the guy who's been basically carrying the show while I've been gone. And this week we get together and we're talking about Yoshi's Story for the N64. And why are we talking about Yoshi's Story? Because Sam has this thing where he's getting me to play N64 games against my will. Sam, why?
Why? Actually, it's kind of funny. I was thinking about how we had just covered Kirby, and Yoshi's Story is kind of like the only other notable side scroller on the 64, and we've covered them just weeks apart.
You want to know what's funny about the N64 in the last 30 days? It has been the most talked about console in my personal life in the last 30 days, because I talked about Kirby, I'm talking about this, and if you're part of another podcast Discord, and many of you who interact with us are, I'm part of another thing coming up on said podcast. So it's been all N64 all the time, and honestly, it's not my favorite console.
I know, you're like fucking N64.
Like, I don't hate it, but this was the point in my life where I shifted to PlayStation, and like, I like the N64 for what it was, and I like going to friends' houses and playing all these games, but I never owned an N64 until after I bought a GameCube.
Oh, wow. That's a interesting trajectory. So basically, you got to play the N64 games at your friend's house, but you left them there. Didn't bring them home.
Yeah, it just, well, they were his games, and then, I got the GameCube, and that's when I started retro game collecting. So I ended up finding an N64 at a banger of a price, and games were still fairly cheap, and I got the collection. I got all the big ones, like GoldenEye and Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, and all that. Again, my cartridge-based retro game collection got sold when my son was born because we were short on cash and something had to be sacrificed.
Yeah, sacrifice the N64. I would say...
Oh, the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo went as well.
No, not those.
Yeah.
I would say, did you play this when it first came out?
No. I honestly didn't even know it existed until you brought it up. Remember, I was like, we're playing Yoshi's Island. I love that game.
Yeah, and then you called it Yoshi's Story, and then I got excited. But you meant Yoshi's Island, and I meant Yoshi's Story, and then we ended up playing Yoshi's Story.
Yeah. So somewhere in the back of my brain, I knew this game existed, but in the forefront of it all, no, I've never played it before. And I don't know, like I said, like we were talking beforehand, and I said, I really don't know how I feel about this game because I kind of like it, but I kind of don't.
I like it. One thing I do, we could get right into it. I did have history with this game. I think a friend of mine had it, or I rented it, or both. But I ended up playing a decent amount of this. I don't know if I ever finished it as a kid, but it's like, oh God, it looks gorgeous. For a game that came out in 98, and we can talk about how the Nintendo 64 doesn't necessarily age well, especially in a 3D space. But this game, like you could, for whatever reason, they nailed like the textures look good. Like this game looked like a touched up version of I mean, obviously if they touched it up, you'd be able to see like, oh my God, no, that looks like shit. But compared to other games coming out at the time, this looked really good. Like you could see the texture of the denim and the patches in the background, and Yoshi's kind of taken that like Yoshi's Crafted World and Yoshi's Woolly World and that kind of thing, like it has that like cutesy like plushy kind of look to it, and they really nailed it.
There's that one world that actually had that like jean or fabric aesthetic to it, the canvasy looking what's it? Something you get out of a loom.
Woven.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. God, thank you. Yeah, it does. And honestly, like that's something I love about this game. Graphically, it's very nice to look at. And it does really well. And it does pluck some stuff from Yoshi's Island too, like that flower in the corner for your life points. I remember that being in Yoshi's Island. But I'm going to go with the thing I hate the most right off the bat. I just want to get it out because I really got to get it out.
The negatives.
That interface with the fruit going around the
Ugh,
screen, because
yeah.
when you like, I didn't know you had to collect fruit to finish the level. I went through level 1 for about 30 minutes skipping 2 pieces of fruit because I was like, where the fuck is the exit? And then finally said, fuck it, I'll go get those fruit. And the level ended. I'm like, this is dumb. Like, this is stupid. Like,
This is probably where
let
like
me
having
not.
having the manual would have helped.
Yeah, and I was just like, it's not well laid out in the game when you start the game. There's like, why would I get all this fruit? Obviously, it helps your health, so leaving some behind is a smart move, especially since enemies don't come back. But then the interface where the fruit is building from the top left corner, and you see all these dots around the outside of the screen, and every time you grab the fruit, it fills up another spot where the dots are, and you can expand it, shrink it for some reason. I have no idea why I was able to do that, but I was able to. And yeah, it's ugly. Honestly,
Yeah.
I just find it really ugly.
Were you able to make it move completely off the screen? Because I know that, like, I think if you hit one of the shoulder buttons or maybe one of the C buttons, it'll like kind of zoom you in and get rid of the fruit around the border. But the part of what problem I had was like, if I'm looking for another fruit to eat and like finish the level or something, the whole border of the screen being fruits really runs interference on like trying to find ones like
Yeah,
just on
there's
the
a
edge
couple.
of the screen.
Yeah, there's a couple of times where I'm like, oh, fruit, and then I jump to grab it, and the whole friggin' screen moves with it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
like, oh no, that's one I already have.
yeah. It's like you bastards.
Apparently, I didn't in this playthrough. I didn't do too well with the fruits, but apparently, like if you are strategic about it and you move through the level in a certain way and only collect, like if you go on like different streaks of like eating a certain amount of fruits in a row, I think it multiplies your score or does something for you.
Oh
Gives
yeah.
you bonuses.
What's it? The happiness score? Like the whole raison d'etre of the whole
Yeah.
game is to make the Yoshis happy. Did you die at all in this game?
A whole bunch, yeah. Just because I
Oh
thought the
yeah.
controls were kind of floaty, like just in a weird way. Like I don't know why. I don't remember this being an issue when I first played it, but I just had such an issue controlling the Yoshis. I thought they were just like between. Maybe I was just kind of jumpy, but just going back and forth, trying to land on smaller platforms, and some of the jumping where you'd have to like pedal into the air like Yoshi can do. Yeah, I don't know. I game over it a couple times. Just one notable time. I don't know if you saw it in our group chat. I was so pissed because I was like one fucking fruit away from finishing the game, and I either jumped for it or did something, but it was like in the last chapter or last story or last page or whatever. And they had these like rotating log things, and I just like rolled off of one and fell, and it was my last Yoshi.
Yeah. Are you able to get your Yoshis back? Because when you die,
Yes.
you lose one of your Yoshis, and I couldn't figure out if I could get the Yoshi back. So I just like, if they die, they die.
No, it's not a conventional way to get them back where it's like you just get a free life and then a Yoshi pops back on your screen. There were a couple points where I found there's like a white Shy Guy. I don't remember.
Oh, why'd it gotta be white?
Well, it's like completely white. So like there's the green one, the red one, the blue one, whatever. Like the special white one will like follow you around for the remainder of the level. And then when you go to play the next level and you're on the Yoshi select screen, there's the white Shy Guys hanging out in there with them. And if you select him, he'll fly to the tower and get you one of your Yoshis back.
Oh,
So it's,
okay. So
yeah, it's like getting a free life, but it's not like in the conventional sense where like you just get another try automatically. He just goes to your character select screen. You have to pick it.
well, it makes sense. I mean, like the Yoshis do basically act as your lives because you get to select the color Yoshi you want. No difference between them.
No.
Which is probably something I think would have been good for this game, is to kind of give each Yoshi something special. Like if you look at Super Mario World, blue Yoshi flies, yellow Yoshi pounds the ground really hard, red is fire, green is useless. And what's the other color? It might be all the colors. Anyways, but you got those Yoshis, and it would have been kind of nice if they did something like that for this game.
Yeah, it would be neat if
Maybe
one
the black Yoshi jumps
yeah.
higher.
Okay. Like, yeah, but I was just gonna say like maybe one of them jumps higher. I wasn't gonna say which one, but like maybe one jumps higher.
Look, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, or has like a better pedal,
Yeah.
like can like do the hover thing a little bit better, or has a longer tongue.
Yeah, just something like that. Like the blue ones can swim better. The yellow one takes the banana the long way.
Oh, that was another thing
know,
with the fruits. You got like, I think you get more points for eating your favorite fruit, or it makes them happier. So like your happiness score goes up.
But you have to eat all the fruit in the level to move on, so it doesn't really matter because if you eat their favorite fruit, you still got to run through the level. And I'm not going through 16 times to get combos. Like, ooh,
yeah, there's a fair amount of backpedaling if you really want to like eat all the grapes in a row or something like that. Then you're gonna have to go through the level, only eat the grapes, and then move back through and I don't know, pick a different fruit.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. That's kind of one thing that annoyed me about this game. Give me a proper platforming left to right, and this is where it started becoming for the kids.
It's a Yoshi
like this game is. Yeah, this game is designed for kids to get into video games. If you hate them enough, give them that N64 controller. But yeah, I don't know. It just I can't get past that being the thing I think bothers me the most is it's not a traditional level, and the fruit mechanic is honestly quite dumb. Like, you could wipe out all the enemies, and that's the other thing is, you're wiping out enemies there, and then you have to constantly backtrack to those things that give you the eggs, because that's what you do, and like traditionally Yoshi has the eggs following behind him, and that's his ammo.
Right.
And so you take out the skeleton dragon, let's say, then you go back, you replenish your eggs, and you go take out the next skeleton dragon, you go back, replenish your eggs. So it's just basically a back and forth to make sure you're fully loaded.
Right. It's yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like, just to go back to one of your points, the game is really kind of like the precursor of ones that we've mentioned, like Yoshi's Woolly World and Yoshi's Crafted World. I think Woolly World was on the Wii U, if I'm not mistaken, and Crafted World is on the Switch.
My kid played the fuck out of Woolly World. I actually have the amiibo for the Wool Yoshi and Poochie.
Oh, that's adorable. I like Poochie.
Yeah, because we bought the collector's edition for it because you could tap the amiibo, and I don't remember what you got, but that's all you would do is just sit there and tap the amiibo.
That's pretty fun. But yeah, I mean, those games are... I mean, I've played a little tiny bit of Crafted World and really lost interest in it quick because it was just way too easy. Whereas this game, I think... Yeah, it's not the hardest game, but there's challenge there if you want. Like, you can play through this game really quickly if you're just, playing the... So basically there's six storybook pages, and each page has, I think, 4 levels on it. And the better you do score-wise or whatever, like, not all the levels are always available on the screen. And
that's why I don't remember there being 4 levels.
Yeah, they're not always there. I don't know how. This is great podcasting, right? Because we don't know, but like I'm not sure what unlocks all 4 at the same time. But yeah, you basically can pick your level, and that level is the one that you're playing for that page. And then once you beat the level, the page turns, and then you pick a different level. But I mean, the game can be
that's why.
Yeah, the game can be as easy or hard as you want it to be. Like, you can just go through the first level on each page and play through it really quick, or you can go back.
Well, I was looking at the game just before we recorded. I was playing a little bit there, and I saw 1, 2, and I kind of forgot where I was because it's been a couple of days since I played it, and I was just like, I don't remember there being a level select, and I chose number 2, and the level obviously was brand new. I've never played it before, but then I realized I already passed that world. Mm-hmm. Why am I playing this again? And long story short is you just explained it to me, and now everything is copacetic.
There's also
another point off.
There's also black and white.
I'm going to start
Yoshis,
a counter,
which I think are like unlockable. And each Yoshi has a favorite fruit. I didn't realize that either. Like, so basically, like, you get there's like a little, I don't know, like randomizer that picks your quote unquote favorite fruit for the duration of your playthrough. And there's 5 different fruits, but you can basically have one of 4 be your favorite one. And then like the light green melon, I think, is always worth 3 hearts, and that's just like a constant. And then the rest of them are different. They'll be like 1, 2, or like full hearts. The little thought bubble turns completely red and has like a little symbol in it. But you get your favorite fruits, but then also like the different colored Yoshis correspond to different fruits too. So like the main green one is watermelon, and then the red and pink ones like apples, the yellow one likes bananas, and the blue and the light blue one like grapes. And then
what are the white and black one like?
Their favorite fruit is all the fruits. So I think you get 3 hearts from all the fruits.
I think we're looking at the same wiki right now.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot. I think there's a lot more to this game than like you can either, like I said, play through it surface level, and it's like, yeah, that was a fun short game or whatever. But like if you really want to get into it and explore, there's a lot more. There's a lot more here, and I think that's also maybe kind of a detriment, because if you don't, it's almost like if you're not paying attention or you don't really understand the structure of how the game is laid out, you could probably miss a lot.
Oh yeah, but you got to think of it too. Like if we go back to the idea that this is a baby's first game,
right?
But you also want to do something that mom and dad can play along as well. Well, this is fun for the kid that can play 1 level per page, or the parents who can try to 100% the game.
Right.
So
yeah, it
is actually interesting game design that it makes it as easy. Like you said, it's as easy or as hard as you want it to be. So
yeah,
that's actually a point for it.
Yeah, it's like the experience is what you make of it. There's so much here that like I'll probably go back to this game at some point and try to explore more of it. And I think if I saw it at the retro shop, I'd probably pick up a copy, to be honest. I thought this was a fun game.
Yeah. I'd lose my shit and destroy it. I'd be like,
You'd buy a copy, just
me out by the arms.
You're like the Ron Swanson with the vegan bacon. You like buy it and throw it away so no one has to play it.
Oh fuck, that's a good show. Oh man, level design. I think we kind of touched on it. Don't like it. Like I said, too circular. But inside of the level, there's a couple of elements. You have those, what are they called? They like warp guys. You have to wake them up. They're basically, I don't know, anima. I'm not going to say the big word because I can't.
They kind of look like Humpty Dumptys. They're like
like
people.
But they have numbers on them, and they're apparently warp guys. So when you warp, quote unquote, I never figured that part out. You go sequentially in order. So if you wake up 1, 2, 3, then 4, because there's 4 per level, you go from 1 to 2, then 2 to 3. But if you don't wake up 2, I don't think you can warp.
I think you can. I think it just skips you to the next one. Basically you can warp between them. I didn't use them this time around, but they're actually really useful if you're trying to do the playthrough where you're maximizing your like happiness score and trying to eat the same fruits in a row. Like you can make your way through the game and then warp back to a different point and then eat a different fruit and then warp back if you really want to get sweaty with it. Otherwise I didn't care. I just ate fruits and ended my run. But
yeah, once I figured that out, that was my only goal, was to eat the fruit as fast as possible, fill up that stupid interface ring, get to the next level.
Yeah, but I could see where like activating those little warp guys, helps with your playthrough if you're trying to maximize your score. It's kind of a nice touch just to have those there.
Yeah. What about Yoshi? How did you think? Well, you already said that he was a little bit squeaky on the jumping there, but otherwise, how do you think he handled?
Oh, control.
Make you feel very Yoshi, or is it? I don't know. It's a little bit different than your traditional Yoshi with the ground pound and stuff.
I found it hard to control this time around, and I don't know if it's my controller or just I don't know. not used to this playing with an N64 controller as much as I used to be, but I really wish that there was an option to switch it to the D-pad, because it is a 2D platformer. I really would like to be able to use the D-pad. That was something that was really, really good about the Kirby game, and I kind of wish that they had made more games like this for the 64. Kind of a missed opportunity to use like a third of the controller.
Yeah, well, that's half the N64 games is hold the controller awkwardly and don't use the D-pad at all.
Yeah, I love that meme.
I don't know. How do you hold the controller? Like,
Oh.
do you hold it from the outside, or do you put your hand in the middle grip?
Well, yeah, you got to put your hand on the middle grip because that's where the stick
There's
is.
people I know
I
that
see what you mean. No, what? What? No, who would do that?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Is that what
Yeah,
you do?
there's people out there.
Is that what you do?
No.
Oh, that's like
I stick the middle one up my butt.
Well, that's kind of like how how there's people that play games where they like use their index and middle finger to like push the buttons. Like, what? Don't be an animal.
Yeah.
Use your thumbs. Come on. Like
Well, it depends what game you're playing. I mean, the kid who broke Tetris there, he does this like tapping or bumping thing where the way you tap the bottom of the controller makes you faster, and
wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
People have developed techniques for playing video games that just baffle me.
No, I hold the middle of the Nintendo 64 controller. I don't hold the ends and then stretch my thumb all the way across to the middle. That seems just so weird.
I can see if you have like those gigantic man hands there that are like, a foot each.
Well, yeah, but then what do you use for the Z button?
Your massive gigantic ass finger, obviously.
Well, I guess I don't have one of those. So no, I hold it with my hand over
your
the
little your
with
little,
my little baby hands.
Wisconsin hands.
My little baby hands go over the
They're not meant for video gaming, they're meant for cheese.
That's true. Small cheese cubes, they're perfect for picking. It's like that little tiny fork that's on like the hors d'oeuvre plates.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what my hands are. No, and yeah, I just wish. I think I would have had a more just like. Gosh, I'm having trouble describing what I'm thinking, but I don't know if it would make a difference or not. But I always just kind of feel like I have a little bit more control with a D-pad than I do with a stick.
Well, obviously, in a platforming game, you don't want to have the little bit of squeaky up or down. You want a clear, solid, push of the D-pad there to tell the game that I want to do this.
Right.
So I agree with you. Like
making a definitive
Kirby,
statement.
it worked really well.
Yeah, left, right, up, down, and that's it. None of this.
But
360-degree rotation bullshit.
Well, one thing I was thinking, I don't know about yours. So you have an aftermarket, but the official Nintendo 64 Switch controller, it has that thing where the N64 controller had indents, so that when you did use the analog stick, you would actually like feel the bumps as you went around the 8 different positions that 3D worked in back then.
Oh yeah, mine has that. Actually, it doesn't have like a brand name on it. It was definitely just like an Amazon knockoff that I got, but it really is a pretty decent replica of a Nintendo 64 controller. I don't know if they got a cease and desist or if they continue to make them, but it works pretty well, and it was way cheaper than the one that Nintendo made. But yeah, it does have those notches. I know what you're talking about. Basically, it's the notches in the cardinal directions, and then on the northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast, you like the 45-degree angles are in there too. That doesn't help me very much though in situations like this, because it's still kind of just
no.
Yeah.
You can still. It's not meant to stop you from moving the analog stick, so you feel them, but you go by them real easy.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of poking over the wiki here, and there's something called sniffing. Did you do sniffing? It says it's exclusive to the game, helpful in finding objects hidden on the ground. To execute it, the player must press the R button. If Baby Yoshi is near an object, a exclamation mark will appear next to Baby Yoshi's head.
Then what do you do? Ground pound and it pops out, or what? I never used that.
If Baby Yoshi is standing on a hidden item, he'll wave at the player. Oh no, he fucking won't. Any object hidden in the ground can be revealed by ground pounding.
Oh, I didn't know that. That'd be pretty cool. I wish I would have known that. Probably could have.
Yeah, I wish there was like
Probably could have found.
cocaine in this game.
Probably could have found some
Getting
extra
Yoshi to
shit.
sniff that.
Oh God, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
wow.
Oh God.
Let's talk about the sound. What do you think about the
That's
Yoshi
what
sound?
I was thinking of. Hold on, I got a pro cons list going.
Cons sound. I love the music in this game, and I love the sound too.
This is where, like, the sound's okay. Like, the sound sounds like Yoshi. I'm not going to take away from that, but that introduction song, it's terrible.
No, it's not.
Like,
It's so
I'm not musically inclined, but even I see this song as just like it's just a hot mess of noise.
No, it's just cute. Damn it.
And people who listening to this podcast will heard it because I'm going to use it for the intro song because you can't not use it for the intro song.
I like when
But I actually turned the
you turn this
I
off.
muted the game. I muted the fucking game on level 1 because the song was starting to annoy me.
The song for like the song during the level is not. I mean, it's just like some kind of. I mean, not bland. I don't want to say bland, but it's just kind of like low, not non-offensive acoustic music, isn't it? Just like kind of some just like jamming on a acoustic guitar. It's just a little. I don't know. It's not bad.
Oh, they're playing on a xylophone.
Is it xylophone? I don't know. There's a bunch of different like. It's definitely got like a vibe.
Okay. Sorry, the background beat's on a xylophone. I don't know what it's like a kazoo for the actual main beat.
Okay, but
I'm kind of listening to them in my headphones as you talk.
Oh, okay. I do like like Yoshi's idle animations are really cute too. Like where you just kind of if you stop moving or whatever, they just kind of march in place and sing to themselves. They're like, bam,
Oh yeah, I never stopped. I got through this game as quick as possible.
oh man.
Any notable enemies for you or obstacles?
No.
No,
there were some
nothing memorable.
Well, I mean, there's Shy Guys are like your main enemies. There's regular ones that are walking around, and then there's ones with like the little helicopter apparatus. I really disliked the enemies in the underwater levels. Fucking suck. I don't like most underwater levels, but these ones were pretty bad because there was stuff that was just really, really difficult to avoid. And then some of those jellyfish had fruits in them and stuff that you were supposed to like eat, and you had to get pretty close to them in order to do it. And Yoshi would just kind of float into them on momentum and end up getting hurt. And there's one level I played with this thing called the snorkel snake. They called it a mini boss in the wiki here, but I don't see any way to defeat any. That was part of my problem is like, yeah, that's fine. You can load up this level with enemies, but give me a way to defend myself. And there really didn't seem to be.
Yeah.
Because you could get eggs, because there were certain things that you could eat, and then you could have an egg, but there was no way to throw the egg underwater. I kind of wish that you could.
Yeah, or at least something.
Yeah, there was absolutely nothing. It just like, unless I wasn't playing it right or what, I just basically the name of the game was to avoid everything, and there were Shy Guys and little submarines that were shooting shit at you, and
I just read
jellyfish
something
that were
interesting
falling
on the
around.
Shy Guys.
What's that?
Apparently, the Shy Guys, if you eat the Shy Guy of the same color as the Yoshi you're playing as, it heals you.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Or heals you more. Or just heals you
Maybe.
in general. Because I thought eating enemies would heal you a little bit, like not a lot. Like maybe you get like a flower petal back or something like that.
Oh yeah, it says it recovers more health, but no, I didn't know that. I just ate them and shit them out and threw them at other enemies.
Yep. It's kind of
which is funny because
like right, eating enemies and throwing them at each other.
But that's chickens don't eat stuff and then poop out an egg. They have actual chicken poop. So Yoshi eating a Shy Guy then pooping out an egg, that's literally eggs are his poop.
So Yoshis are all
Like-
just poops of each other.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, no wonder he's such a shitty character. Oh, that's going in the
I'm
pros.
gonna name my next poop. I call it Yoshi.
Hey, it's a brown Yoshi. I wonder what fruit
A
he
brown
likes.
Yoshi.
Oh god. I don't know what else to talk about this game. Like we've talked about the music and nothing to write home about.
Yeah, it
The
is
sound
something to write
effects are
home about. That
fine.
music is great. I've had that. I would get that music stuck in my head even like years between playing this game. Like I remember the game
Yeah.
mostly for that adorable music. Like when you play
Yeah,
when you beat the level and then
you
they
hear
sing
that,
little
folks? Even
song.
Sam doesn't like the music.
Oh man, it's so great.
Oh god, that music will haunt
If
me.
you don't think it's adorable, you're a fucking monster.
Oh god. The different levels. I guess the only last thing. Let's talk about the art.
Yeah.
Probably the highlight of this game. That's going under the pros.
Oh yeah,
I actually really like the levels.
I mentioned the denim look, but as I'm looking at these underwater levels, there was like kind of a layered, ripped cardboard look too for some of these backgrounds and stuff.
Oh yeah, they all have like a different aesthetic to them.
Yeah.
Like the underground level really looks like a beefed up Mario World level.
Yeah.
Some of the levels, like it's not really 3D, but you got the snow level there. It just looks like a cartoony snow level. Like it's just they did it so well. There's one level that reminded me of Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Jungle Hut.
Yeah, there's a
No, is it Jungle Hut?
Yes. Yeah, I think there was one
Jungle Puddle.
Jungle Puddle. I don't know if I played that
Yeah,
one.
if you look it up, like because the palm trees in the background remind me of the Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, there we go.
The look from that game.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
if this game shines anywhere, it is on its levels, like the design of the levels, the graphics, the art, and all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
Because it is just a treat to look at.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw you a hypothetical. Could you imagine if, like, this game came out in '98 here in the States? It must not have sold all that well because it didn't. I mean, '98 is relatively early in the N64 life cycle, and we really never got anything else like this for the duration of the system. Like, if this had done better, could you imagine, like a really good 2D or I guess like 2D, 3D, whatever side scroller of like a Mario game with this kind of level design and stuff? Like, it would have been so good.
Yeah, it definitely would have. I think if they actually kind of stuck with the Yoshi's Island theme of making this more geared towards a Super Mario-esque type game, I think it would have done a lot better. But retooling Yoshi to be their kid mascot, I don't think worked out well for Yoshi. He's still a popular character. He's in Smash Brothers. I get it. He's not going to die from Nintendo lore, but he's fallen from grace in his solo games. Like, they're all just pathetically easy and definitely designed for kids.
I wouldn't call this one pathetically
And when I say
easy, but like they definitely get that way.
No.
This is
the start of that.
Yeah, this is definitely
Let's
like
just say it's
bridging
the
the
top
gap.
of the slope.
Right. Where like Yoshi
Yeah.
Yoshi's Island was actually I don't know if it's the hardest game in the world. I haven't played it very extensively myself, but I am given to understand that it's actually gets pretty difficult, and if you want 100% it gets even more difficult. So
it's got that good Mario like platforming difficulty. Like you've got to play the game like you'd play a Mario game, where this game you can kind of cheese it just by aiming for the fruit and like you said, skipping every fourth level.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, you go later games. What is the newest one? It's on the Switch. I know I bought it because my son liked Yoshi.
That one's Crafted World.
And it was so... Yeah, is it Crafted World?
Yeah.
It was so easy that he actually put it down and said, "This is dumb."
Yeah,
and my kid was 6 at the time.
It's boring. It's a boring game.
Yeah.
I hate to say
It's
it,
like,
but
there has to be consequences for playing a game. You have to die. You have to not be able to beat every challenge without a challenge. Like, it's, oh man. I don't know. I kind of wish they really focused on giving Yoshi some really good stories, especially considering he would make a really good 3D character.
Yeah.
like in a 3D game. Can you imagine a rail shooter with Yoshi?
A fucking rail shooter. You just like shooting eggs, like just vomiting eggs.
Yeah, Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah.
Just shooting out tons, like picking up apples and like a little egg covers the screen, and you just start firing eggs at the enemies. That sounds gonna haunt me now.
Oh yeah, I hope it does. Just play it on a loop. Help you sleep at night.
It's my new ringtone.
Yeah. Do you have anything else on this game?
No. Do you want to sum it up first and give your score? Because I got to do some calculations here.
Oh, have you been keeping score on your side? You've been adding.
I told you I started a pros con list. I've been putting a tick every time I say something good or bad about the game.
All right, respect. I'm just gonna go off my gut, and I really like this game. I do have nostalgia for it because I played it when it came out, and I don't know. I think the Yoshis are adorable. I think the music is great. I think the sounds that they make are cute. It's not an overly difficult game, but there is challenge there on certain points of the game have some teeth. So it's not just a full cakewalk necessarily, like some of the later games have become. And I don't know. It is missing some Mario. Like it would be cool to have like I don't know. Maybe there is a Mario cameo that I just didn't find, but yeah, I don't know. I think I'm putting the nostalgia lenses on because if you're playing this for the first time in 2025 and you didn't have any experience with it back then, or you're expecting a little bit more substantial experience, this might not be it. There might be some mechanics that you don't appreciate or care for, but I'm going to give it a good solid 7.5. I think it's fun. I think it holds up pretty well. There aren't many side scrollers on the Nintendo 64, so it's a rare gem in that sense. And like I said, if I found it at the retro shop for a decent price, I would probably pick it up. Brian?
All right, well said. So you said 7.5?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to be a little more mean. I guess I'll go over the positives first. I mean, the game graphically and the art is very beautiful. Honestly, I have no problems with the way Yoshi looks. I have no problems really with the way he handles. Outside of the N64 controller is just a god awful controller design. Yeah, it just like all that kind of stuff is really good. Where the game loses all of its points is in that interface where all the fruits are around the border there. That's just ugly as shit. I'm not going to dock a point for the music because that's very subjective. I just really hate that intro song. If I go through the the playlist, which I'll probably do tonight sometime just to find some songs to pick for the episode, I might have a different opinion because I did play a lot of this game on mute. The sounds of Yoshi are obviously very Yoshi-esque, so that doesn't lose points. The levels themselves, I hated the circular levels where you had to collect fruits to get out of them. That's a knockoff this game. So, and then just my general feeling about it. So I'm giving this game a 5 out of 10. It's there. I wouldn't laugh at you if you said you liked it, but at the same time, we're not going to be friends after.
Okay. Really telegraphing here. So we know how Brian feels.
Well, I think Wildcard said he liked the game, so I'm just, taking a shot at old Joe Fettuccine.
Well, if that's the kind of riffraff that we've got like in this game, then
yeah, it's a 1 out of 10. But no, it's a fine game. It's just there's so much, even on the N64, there's so many better games to play, and that this shouldn't be at the top of your list. And that's about it. That's all I really got to say about it. I'm not going to shit on this game because it is for kids. And, why poo-poo on something that's designed to bring kids into gaming?
Yeah, I guess if you're really upset about this game, it's not for you, I guess, because it is a decently crafted game. It's got some. Yeah, it's just got some mechanics.
I'm not the target. Yeah, I'm not the target audience, and it shows by just how much I enjoyed the game. So, it is what it is.
Okay,
that's it. That's all I got to say.
Fair enough.
I'm done.
All right. So let's. What do we got next week?
Oh God, what's that game that you played? That RPG?
Oh
Baton
yeah,
Rouge
yeah.
or
Beloved Rapture is coming up next, I
Beloved
guess.
Rapture. That's right. Sam is getting his first solo episode, as we now all have done. I did Xenogears. Alan did Final Fantasy 13, and I already forgot the name of the
And I
game.
played Beloved
Beyond
Rapture.
Rapture.
Beyond Rapture.
Beloved Rapture.
Beloved
Yes.
Rapture. Yeah, it was a pretty cool game.
Yeah. So Sam is going to do that game. He played through it. He was gushing about it. So maybe he loved it. Maybe in the end he absolutely hated it. You never know. You're gonna have to find out and listen.
We'll see.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this, you can join our Patreon as well, and you can comment on that if you've played the game before. You can find that at patreon.com/retrotopia, or you can join our Discord and yell at Sam directly if you go to the link tree at linktree or linktr.ee/retrotopia. Join the Discord, yell at Sam. He loves to be yelled at. He is kind of a sick bastard that way. Sam, do you want to send us off?
Yeah. Here, here's a sound for you to live rent free in your head for the rest of the week. That's a little Yoshi sound for you. There you go. Have a good week, everyone.
All right.